In this video, we will be reviewing bulk parameter editor as it relates to the electrical toolset. There are two ways to get data into the bulk parameter editor. One is to simply run the tool and open up the interface. This is a modeless interface, so it can be moved to other screens while working in Revit. There's an instance mode and then there's a type mode. The instance mode shows every element within the selected category on the user interface. The type mode only shows each individual type as a line item. You can also check whether you show read-only parameters, search set categories, or common parameters only to help narrow down your search. Sometimes read-only parameters, though they cannot be edited, helps uniquely identify which elements you're looking at. Bulk parameter is one of the most versatile tools. It allows us to see different categories and each individual element, not only to bulk edit the parameters, but also manage the data. There's a lot of parameters within the model, so this tool helps to manage that so that we can see everything in one interface. We can narrow down our searches. Revit is very schedule based, so this helps us add the correct parameters to each elements to create these schedules to make them more visible as well as shown correctly and make sure that everything is accounted for. This can be done within the single model or also can be searched outside and in linked models. So to get started, here's an example of showing light fixtures. I can select the category that shows all of the types and families, all the family and all the types. I can also narrow it down and select only certain types to help narrow down my search. There's everything, all the categories within the model are pre-populated here that are available to select. So light fixtures, lighting devices, electrical fixtures, electrical equipment, even electrical circuits, as well as other useful items such as sheets and spaces. Here I can hit auto refresh from the tree or manually refresh it. Now at first glance, there's a lot of data here. There's a lot of columns, as this shows every parameter available in each light fixture, as well as all of the light fixtures. To help narrow down this, you can either type in filters manually, separated by a semicolon, or use the column picker. Right-click, or your shortcut is C within the tool. Here, I can add any parameters similar to a schedule. This helps me view all of the different elements and narrow down the categories and parameters that I want to see. For example, I may want to see the family and type. Though I may not be able to edit this, it does help me identify the different data. I can also add, for example, circuit number and panel. Maybe I want to see the comments, and let's do an emergency inverter. This is a custom parameter that is based on a schedule. Any fixture with this inverter ID then gets populated to a schedule to help identify how large the inverter needs to be. In this way, bulk parameter editor can be edited and used in a way that is best for your organization. I can also filter by value. There's still a lot of light fixtures here. So if I just want to see the light fixtures on the inverter, simply type in INV to help narrow down only showing the elements with INV within these parameters. Here, I can edit them by right-clicking, applying value, or my shortcut A. I can also double-click on individual elements to, for example, erase or change it. For example, if I wanted to change these all to egress lighting. I can also use this in conjunction with match and multi-circuiter to help speed up the process of selecting elements. The way I do that is moving to the lighting plane, for example. I can select a certain elements, right click and select in Revit. I can also show in Revit and show in section. This helps speed up and find different elements quickly within the grid. For example, I can select here and then edit any parameters. This is also useful for finding elements that are off in space. For example, if I find a light fixture that is uncircuited, I can select it in Revit and delete it so that it is not accounted for in my counts. Here, I can also save my searches. This, for example, I may use on multiple different models and different projects later. So I can save this. Let's call it emergency lighting. I can also save specific values, and that would correspond with this here, the filter by value within the parameter, or I can leave it blank. When I save this, the category is automatically selected along with the family, type, circuit number, panel, comments, and inverter ID, all of the columns that I had picked previously. Now, next time I get into Bulk Parameter Editor, I can do the drop down and select emergency lighting and quickly get to my filters. Another way to use this is editing schedules. Sometimes editing schedules can be cumbersome and will not always take when editing them. Here I can simply run the command. You can also run a shortcut. This has prompted me to show in type mode, as it suggests the luminaire schedule has mostly type fixtures. So if I click yes, it will automatically select the light fixture category, as well as each individual type and all the parameters within that schedule. Now I can easily manipulate this schedule much faster than I would for a schedule individually. This allows me, for example, to edit multiple at a time. I can also